Happy Halloween, all you filthy animals. If you haven't guessed it by now, this year I'm dressed up as Moist Critical, aka Penguin Z0. If you haven't subscribed to him, you're already fucked up. I pretty much got this costume from a Spirit Halloween store, and it was one of the worst experiences I've had in my life. The bag just came with nothing but a white shirt. Didn't come with the cord that I can speak to, not the wig or the shorts or the tattoo arms. It was just completely horrible. I went to the front desk to complain, and I'm pretty sure that the cashier was the Haktua girl because she pretty much looked and sounded the same, and then she ended up spitting on me. Not that I didn't like it, but I'm not going to say I liked it either. Either way, somehow she got me to pay for it, so I had to end up improvising. So I dug through my closet and found this black sleeveless hoodie. Doesn't really work as a wig, but it does get the job done. It's also better than wearing an actual wig, as it would just pretty much be itching my scalp off. It also came with this drawstring that I can use as the earpiece that he uses in most of his videos. I'll admit it's not one of the best Moist Critical costumes I've ever seen on the internet. It would have been better if Spirit Halloween had the whole Charlie set. But I'm not here to plug my Spirit Halloween experience into the Moist meter, because what I have for you today is what I consider to be a Halloween themed bar rescue. We're going to harken back to season 3, which was filmed in 2013, and this bar in particular was filmed in Las Vegas, Nevada. This bar is known as the Underworld Grill and Bar and was purchased by two rock stars named Chris Chaos and Jazz Bender. Chris and Jazz wanted to take a break from the music business and decided to open a horror themed bar and grill, even though they mostly sell pizza in the kitchen. Like, I don't know how many pizzerias they've been to where they cook a pizza on the grill. I'm guessing they throw their burgers in a deep fryer as well. The only thing scary about this bar is how incredibly cheap everything looked. There was more plastic in this bar than a Kim Kardashian convention. It looked like they just bought everything that was on clearance in the Spirit Halloween store. They just threw it in the bar and they said, "Eureka! We got a horror bar!"
We knew music and bars and clubs just seemed like the natural progression.
We went with horror because the world loves a scary movie.
It's Halloween walking in here. I came here to drink a beer and not bob for apples.
Another problem we have behind the bar is a green-haired sexist who for some reason think that all women get their panties wet when men are complete douchebags to them, and that all they want to talk about is sex. He kind of looks like Duncan from Total Drama Island, and after spending some time in the big house, it kind of makes sense that he would get a job in Vegas as a bartender. Other problems at the bar include understocking products, having no draft beer system at all, and serving mediocre pizza that's even worse than frozen pizza. Chris and Jazz are in $150,000 in debt, losing $2,500 a month, and they have their houses on the line. The biggest problem of all is that there is a lack of trust between the owners and the employees. The owners believe that the employees are giving away their products just for a bigger tip, because liquor consumption keeps going up, but sales keep going down. Zoink Scoop, we got a mystery in our hands. The owners have little faith and trust in their employees that they have to monitor them through security cameras and watch their every move. The good thing about this bar is that it is 4 blocks away from the strip, and that the population in that area is a 21 to 29-year-old female demographic. The bad news is that these guys aren't doing anything to attract their attention. Then we move on to Jon Taffer pulling up to the Underworld Grill and Bar with his experts, bartender Russell Davis and his pizza chef, Tony Gemignani. Now, Russell Davis was named Mixologist of the Year in 2012 by Nightclub and Bar. He's also the president of the Austin Chapter U.S. Bartenders Guild. He's also the master mixologist at Pesce's in Austin, Texas, and Rick House in San Francisco, California. As of lately, Russell Davis has spent his time in Peru serving as a guide in an expedition known as the Tecmar Journey. Now, the Tecmar Journey is an expedition crafted for beverage and hospitality professionals, which delves into ancient medicinal healing practices and the ancestral ways of spirit and energy. Russell Davis, or Wishka, acts as a guide, and he guides his participant on how to incorporate elements of spiritual and ancestral wisdom into their professional work. And what's more is that he's doing some philanthropic work by providing school supplies to the indigenous children of La Sierra Nevada to help them connect to their roots and their stories. If you ever want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description below. Now, Tony Gemignani, he's the owner of Tony's Pizza Napolitana in San Francisco, California. He's also a master instructor in the International School of Pizza. As of lately, he has over 40 restaurants and counting. He's a 13-time World Pizza Champion, a 2-time Food Network Gold Medalist, and 5 Guinness World Records at hand. We start off seeing Jesse, the green-haired bartender, already demeaning girls by patting a girl on the head saying, "Who's a pretty girl?" He also mentions that there is an adult film shooting in the back and he's looking for potential stars, which is already offensive on its own. And then he also says that he has a drink called the Panty Dropper that he wants to sell.
Whatever. Does it smell like chloroform to you?
So weird.
You're not gonna fall for that one again?
The green hair. So rude and abrasive. Not professional at all. I would never come back.
Jon brings in a recon team of 3 beautiful girls so they can get a scoop of the scene. And what they do first is that they move up to the bar, see if they can get any drinks. So the girls try to order a couple of drinks from Jesse, and if this were a baseball game, Jesse will be completely struck out because strike 1, she asked for draft beer. They didn't have draft beer. Strike 2, she asked for a Captain Morgan and Coke. They didn't have Captain. Strike 3, she asked for a Don Julio margarita, and it was unable to do that either. Eventually, the girls just got a bunch of random concocted drinks. And after that, Jesse just continued to demean women and be offensive. If there was a bingo card for the things you can do and say to offend women, Jesse would get all the spaces. There wouldn't even be a free space in the middle. Jesse would write down whatever he would want, and he can get that done in 2 seconds. So the girls order a mushroom pizza, and we get to see how the pizza is prepared in the kitchen.
He doesn't know how to handle it at all. He's knocking out all the air. It'll be a soft pizza.
So the premise, the dough, is you never compress it, you pull it. Because you don't take the air out.
Yeah, you
don't
push it out.
squeeze
It's opening
right.
a pizza correctly. And you also pull the dough out of the fridge. You never put cold dough in a hot oven.
Now you're burning the outside, the inside's
exactly.
not cooking.
Yeah. Looks disgusting.
So the pizza comes out mushy and disgusting that it doesn't get the Tony G seal of approval. So there isn't a lot of people at the bar at the moment, and for some reason, Chris is at the register every half hour counting the money. He just uploaded a picture on Instagram, and after 8 hours, it still only has like 2 likes. After seeing enough, Jon enters the bar and he starts to talk to the bartenders first before he talks to the owners. He wanted to get the scoop on what's going on around here and why is there so much distrust between the owners and the employees. They don't believe that Chris and Jazz are good managers only because they don't get the inventory that they need to stock up, and that they're always watching over their shoulders with every move that they make. Jesse does have a supernatural ability where he has the power to bring in as many people as he can. He can promote the place and bring in hundreds, 200 people and fill up the bar. If he used his power responsibly, he can get a cut of that promotional money. Jesse doesn't invite people anymore because he finds it embarrassing, and I can understand why he would think that way, because he wouldn't even invite his friends to a mediocre horror bar that not even a 2-year-old would be scared of. Jesse then makes a huge accusation that Chris and Jazz would steal their tips at the end of the night, so they wouldn't get anything from what they did at all, which is a big accusation on its own, especially if he doesn't have the evidence to back it up. He just wonders and ponders, why aren't I getting my tips? It doesn't make any sense.
Supposed to get to that breaking point.
As someone covered in tattoos with crazy hair, I don't have many choices out there in what I'm going to do in life.
I don't know, Jesse. I don't think it really matters of how one looks. I think what matters is how good of something they're at. There's plenty of bar rescue experts with an impressive background and resume with crazy hair and tattoos as well. You have Jason Santos with blue hair and tattoos, who has multiple successful restaurants, and he got to host his own episode of Bar Rescue. Vic Vegas, who looks like a wrestling tattooed badass, is also a badass in the kitchen and knows what the hell he's doing. Jon gets to talk to Chris and Jazz and ask them about their financial status and what's on the line. Then he reveals that the bartenders accuse them of stealing their tips, to which they are befuddled and deny those accusations.
So you don't trust them? Why?
Because they just won't do what we want them to do. Every time we've left them alone, which was a disaster. Sales goes down, but liquor consumption goes way up. I do everything for them.
Somebody here is a liar. I want to find out who.
So Jon calls in a staff meeting. The first thing he asks Jesse is, are they stealing your tips? To which Jesse replies, yes, they are. Chris and Jazz are completely shocked. Jesse explains that at the end of his shift, during his cash outs with someone that he served all night, the people that he served tip them, and then he doesn't get the tip somehow. Where it just disappears like poof, magic. Harry Houdini just came into the house and just took the shit away. Then he tells a completely different story to where the people that he's serving ends up closing their tab, but then he asks them, "Do you want to keep drinking?" Then he makes them completely different drinks or free drinks that are not rung in so that he can get a bigger tip more than he would. Then he's somehow saying that the tip ended up with another bartender, or at least the bartender's getting more of the tip than he is.
Yeah. Because when I cash out at the end of the night with someone that I served all night, they tip, I don't get it.
You're f***ing lying.
He is saying that you are closing his credit card and you are stealing his money.
Well, I've never stole from you in my life.
Where do my tips go?
How are they stealing from you?
At the end of my shifts, I should be able to ask somebody, would you like to cash out with me and keep drinking?
Who's gonna do that?
Their tip is $50. They get it for 2 drinks over what I did all night.
You're backing off on what you told me. What you said to me over there is they take your money.
Yes.
Now you're saying that it wound up with another bartender.
It's a little confusing, so let me see if I can break it down for you. So first off, Jesse starts by saying that he's helping guests, serving them drinks, and then at the end, they tip him. After he closes out all his tabs at the end of the night, he doesn't get any of the tips. He believes Chris and Jazz are taking them. Now he's saying that after he's helping a few guests, that another bartender either takes more of the tip than he is, or that the other bartender is making more tips than Jesse is. It's completely astonishing that his own dickishness and offensiveness is the reason why he's not making the tips that he should.
Maybe you're not getting your tips because you're an not because of them.
Really?
I had 3 girls come in here and sit at the end of the bar. Every sentence out of your mouth is about sex.
I know.
Those 3 girls think you're an ass and they don't tip you.
Am I fired yet?
Holy cannoli, the fact that this guy's I don't give a fuck attitude hasn't gotten him fired yet is crazy. Chris and Jazz decide to keep Jesse anyways because they believe he is a huge asset to the business from his ability to bring in people. The next day, we start off in training. We get to see how to make a proper pizza in the kitchen. Tony G gives us a basic tutorial on how to make a proper pizza, teaching us that the softer you are on the dough, the better of the pizza it will turn out. You need to have a border and it needs to have air pockets. The air pockets of the pizza help create rigidity in the crust and helps prevent pizza toppings from sliding off. It's also important that you want to have the best quality ingredients in a pizza in your business, especially if you're in a hospitable business such as Las Vegas, because people are not going to come to your business for a cheap cardboard tasting pizza. We move on to bar training with Russell Davis as he trains Jesse, Eli, and Tracy on how to make 3 drinks efficiently and quickly. First drink he does is a Berry Cosmo. Next one he does is called the Celebration, which is a flavored vodka OJ pineapple drink. The next one he does is a fruity shot called the Parrot Snack. We get to see Russell Davis in action. He shows us how to make 3 drinks quickly and efficiently in 1 minute and 39 seconds, which is pretty fast when you're executing 3 drinks at once. So the first thing he does is the Celebration, where he just puts in the vodka, orange juice, and pineapple, which is pretty easy to do since it's built. The next thing he does is that he gets 2 different cocktail shakers, puts each of the 2 different ingredient drinks in each shaker, shakes them both at once, and pours them in each of their glasses. Russell Davis calls in Tracy to recreate the drinks that he made, and although it wasn't as fast as he was, she still had a pretty good passable time with only 2.5 minutes, especially when she executed the drinks proficiently, so she has some good skill and speed to it. Jesse was the complete opposite of Tracy. He pretty much had a slower time of 3 minutes and 15 seconds. He was miscounting ounces, and he was shaking the tins horribly. He also displayed an I don't care attitude and I don't like this guy. He didn't like how Russell was pretty much training and teaching him the basics of bartending. Jon Taffer pulls together the staff for a quick and short meeting about the Bevantel numbers. Now, what Bevantel does is kind of like bartender and sculpture hospitality, where they weigh liquor bottles and let them go through their business through the night, and then they weigh those same liquor bottles again to see how much they did in sales versus how much they should have done in sales, meaning how much liquor was consumed. The amount of liquor consumed should match the amount of sales that should have been made from consuming that liquor. And boy howdy, let's just say that their test scores were so bad that it infuriated their dad, Jon Taffer.
$234 he sold. And how much did he give away?
$253.
You gave away more than you soul. Had he not done that, you wouldn't have lost money last month.
Jesse gave away more liquor than he sold, and the most likely reason he did that is just to get more tips out of it. And that's a big no-no when you're a bartender. The reason why that's a big no-no is that you can make more money selling cocktails than just giving it away. Let me tell you why for an example. Let's say you sell like 6 cocktails at like $16 each a piece. Then you only get like a $20 tip. You give it away, you get the $20 tip. Whoop-de-doo, Buster Brown. That means you're getting no money in your paycheck at the end of the week. You're also giving away the house and wasting the owner's money, which isn't the most ethnically correct thing to do. In the bar business, you have to care. If you don't care and you just give away liquor, then go work somewhere else, you selfish goober. We get to look at Tracy's report, and she only got like an A minus. She only gave away 44 cents, which is night and day from what Jesse did.
44 cents. Well, it's perfect.
How do you justify hers? She's honest. You're a thief.
I've never pocketed money in my life.
When you give away the drink to get a tip, that's stealing.
So John gives Jesse an ultimatum to which he has to bring people in and fill the bar. If he does that, he gets to keep his job and John gets to shake his hand. If he doesn't succeed, then John gets to fire him.
I will do my best because I need to work, but I feel a little overwhelmed. Not a normal feeling for me.
I'm sorry. The number you have reached is not in service.
Okay, I got a voicemail.
The bar staff starts to prepare for stress tests, making sure they have everything they need. John even goes as far as to provide them with premium spirits, because they didn't have any behind the bar. Keep in mind, Jesse's task was still at hand, making sure he was bringing in people in order to save his job. So the ladies with the colored wristbands were the ones that he brought in. Chris and Jazz finally open the doors for Underworld for stress tests, and all the patrons start to fill up the bar and all the tables. Orders start piling up, and Jesse is moving and running and making those drinks. As he's making those drinks, he's only doing 1 or 2 at a time. Instead, John starts to fill in behind him, asking everyone in the bar, who else wants a Berry Cosmo? So Jesse starts going to work, making multiple Berry Cosmos at once. Bartenders keep screwing up their drinks that everyone else at the bar who hasn't ordered are starting to get restless and tired. One patron has been waiting 18 minutes to be even noticed. Things are screwing up just as bad in the kitchen, where the servers are writing their food order tickets in, and they're pretty much making everything confusing. They're writing pepperoni pizza, pepperoni, cheese, pepperoni, cheese, pepperoni. Why didn't you just write pepperoni and then the number of pepperonis you need on one side, and then cheese, and then the number of cheeses you need on the next side? Not only that, but the tables don't even have numbers, so nobody knows where the pizza is even going. Somebody might even get the wrong pizza order or somebody else's pizza order even though they ordered 10 minutes later. Chris is looking like a silly goose man with a pizza in his hand, going around every table asking them, is this your pizza? No. Is this your pizza? No. Is this your pizza? No. This is the reason why you should have systems and operations in a bar, so that you don't look like a total buffoon. Despite there only being 2 people and cringe music playing in the background, this dance floor was embarrassingly quiet. Wasn't really inviting people to get their tushies off their seats and show their ultimate dance moves. You know, if they asked me to be there, I would have been the highlight of everyone's night. I would have gotten on my seat. They pretty much go like, where's my hug at? Where's my hug at, everybody? You know, do a little twist, little tootsie kick, you know, maybe hit him with the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse dance. As if things couldn't get any worse, Jesse had to stop making drinks because there was no more glassware at the bar. So they eventually ran out. They didn't do a good job prepping. And not only that, but there was no more cash in the drawer, so they couldn't make exact change for people who have $20 or $50 or $100 bills. So it was pretty much a failure part on the owners because they didn't do a good job making sure that their employees had everything they need. So Chris had to go step out of the building and buy more plastic cupware so that they can keep making more drinks. At the bar, Jesse started to get overwhelmed and flooded with multiple drink orders. He couldn't just do a bunch at a time, so he had to go back to resorting to 1 at a time, to which Russell got behind him and asking him, why are you still doing 1 drink at a time? He finally realized that he wasn't as cocky as he was before the stress test, so Russell decided to put him in his place.
1 drink at a time, man.
I don't know where I'm at on drinks right now.
You were so cocky with me during training, and this is how you can improve your bartending ability?
I have 800 people.
You know how many times I've had a full bar like this and not gotten it? Don't roll your eyes at me.
You're all up in my I would appreciate you to back the up.
What do you say? You want me to really get in your face?
I can't do this. I'm about to walk out.
Jesse stepped out for a bit because he felt embarrassed. He thought he needed to maybe just walk away, and he felt like he was going to leave the bar, but And deep down inside, his little Grinch heart just grew 10 sizes that day, and he realized, I did give a shit, you know? So he went back, showed everyone that, hey, I'm a big boy. I can make multiple drinks at once. That's what he did. Everybody cheered for him. At the end of the stress test, Jesse was able to keep his end of the deal, and he was able to keep his job.
Did a really good job at doing their best to get through it. We just weren't prepared. We didn't have enough glassware.
We haven't seen this many people for quite a while.
Brother, you didn't have enough glassware because you didn't do a good job prepping for it. That's why it's always important to make sure that your employees have everything they need in order to have a successful night. After stress test, John decides to have a little staff meeting and calls out Chris and Jazz for being horrible owners and practically setting their employees up to fail because they didn't have enough glassware, they didn't have enough cash in the register, and they didn't have a good enough system to send out food to the right tables. Keep in mind that the bar was purchased in 2011 and that this episode was filmed in 2013, so Chris and Jazz had 2 years to implement a system where all the food and drinks could be sent to the right people and that they would have had enough glassware for a packed house. Not only did they apologize, but they commended their staff for hanging in there, doing the best that they can, and making through a stressful night, showing that they do care, they want to be there, and they want to see this place succeed. John talks to his team of experts and talk about how the bars around the neighborhood are mostly generic with no great concept. So he decided to take their horror cheap Halloween theme and revamp it, make it Vegas style, baby. The next morning, the staff arrives at the site, finding that their Underworld Grill and Bar name has been crossed out. They were just like pissed off. They didn't want to change the name, they didn't want to change the concept. So they were really riled up. Eventually, they enter the bar and see John and his experts standing there with the Halloween decorations that they put up earlier. And Chris just comes out and says, I am not happy. I am very unhappy right now. I'm not willing to change this concept for nothing. I will sell my soul and my family's soul on this brand. But John reassures him that we are going to do a Halloween concept just better than ever you can imagine. So he decides to create a zombie themed apocalyptic bar, to which Chris says, oh, okay. Sorry, honey, I won't be needing your soul. Or actually, not sorry, you can keep your soul. We move on to kitchen training, and Tony G brings in a whole cluster of quality cheeses, which is made of 100% whole milk mozzarella, which really makes a difference when you're making a quality pizza. We get to have a visual appearance of the pizza based on the cheeses that they were using. Before, they were using cheap cheese that made it look and taste horrible. Afterwards, they switched to the 100% whole milk mozzarella that would give it a beautiful visual appearance that would make Dave Portnoy give it an 8 out of 10 on the pizza scale. Multiple bites, everybody knows the rules. Now, Tony G shows them how to do an apocalyptic pizza, which contains bacon, canned meat, red onion, and pineapple. Now, no disrespect to Tony G because I think he's a fantastic pizza chef, but I would rather eat my own foot than eat a pizza with pineapple in it. We get into bar training where Jon Taffer provides the staff with premium spirits that will definitely sell. So Russell Davis creates their own signature cocktails with those premium spirits, one of them being the Apocalypse, which contains 3/4 of marshmallow flavored vodka Smirnoff, 3/4 of ice cake flavored vodka, 2 ounces of pineapple. You shake that bad boy up, stir over ice, and garnish with a dessert snack. If you don't have a dessert snack, just use a Twinkie. Now, this drink that they have here is probably one of my personal favorites because it's one of the coolest looking drinks that they've shown on the show. It's not even presented in a glass. That's because it ties in with the zombie concept that they're going with, which is why I think it's pretty clever. It's called the Antidote, and even though that Russell Davis is putting the ingredients in a cup and putting the whole thing in a container, which makes it look bigger than it is, and the measurements shown here are shorter than what is shown in the video, that's because it's supposed to look cool and how it's presented it is in a syringe. So the ingredients here are 1 1/4 ounce of coconut flavored vodka, half an ounce of blue curacao, and 1/4 ounce of pineapple juice.
And so they're going to take it really quickly. And it's not.
So Russell Davis brings in Jesse behind the bar to recreate the drinks that he made, and Jesse has shown a major improvement, cutting his time short from earlier to 30 seconds. And Jesse has pretty much executed these drinks quickly and efficiently, and he has a better attitude about it. So they have one final meeting before the relaunch happens, and it just shows that Chris and Jazz start to have more trust in their employees. Even Jon Taffer is surprised that Jesse's still here from a bad start that they had in the beginning to a way improved attitude and motivation to keep working, keep the bar open. It brings a tear to Jazz's eye like he just finished watching Toy Story 3. So John tells the staff to get the fuck out of there so he can start remodeling so that they can be ready and prepared for the opening night. We then get to reveal night where John starts to reminisce how the whole thing happened, where it started from a lack of trust to the owners trusting their employees and backing them up with every move. Then we get to see how they reacted to seeing their new nightclub zombie bar.
Oh, what do you think, guys? I don't know
The new bar looks tremendously better than it did before. John started to take off the structure that blocked the sign so that people from the streets can see it. He then gave it a lighting to make it pop more from, across 2 blocks away so that people can see that the new nightclub looks pretty cool and invites them in. The inside of the bar looks amazing. It looks popping like a nightclub would, but a zombie apocalyptic theme. Everything looked great. There was some zombie arms hanging from the walls to give it like a zombie breaking through the walls, like the Walking Dead scenery. It has a painting on the walls that gave it a Las Vegas apocalyptic design to it. It looked awesome.
It's
Amazing.
awesome. It's amazing.
Coolest place ever.
That's not what you said earlier, Jazz.
This is the stupidest place ever, man.
Jason Holfish Design was the one who created that Las Vegas zombie mural in the bar. John gave them an orange door entertainment system for the dance floor. When they don't have a DJ, they can still play some automated music that people can just get up on the floor and dance their booties out. He added some laser lightings to the dance floor that brings people in, gets them excited, and wants to show everyone the dance moves they got. John even gave them a new draft beer system. Since draft beer sells more than bottled beer, he wanted to make sure that the lines were proper enough so that the beer can flow through them. And he gave them double insulated lines, making sure there was extra glycol in the system. He also gave them new glassware from Thunder Group, and this new glassware is unbreakable. Not even Thor's hammer can make a dent to it. So as they're preparing for the relaunch, Chris and Jazz already proven that they care more for their employees by making sure that they're prepped for the night, that they have extra bar towels, extra glassware, money in the drawer. Chris and Jazz open the doors finally for their relaunch, and all the bar tables and bar seats starts to fill up quickly. Even Jesse's attitude adjustment really helped the bar. He started to give a compliment to a lovely lady wearing a pretty dress, and she really enjoyed the compliment. And he started to execute drinks more and faster. He's really one of the best improvements in bar rescue history. The kitchen is improving as well. It just shows that when you have a system in place, the food can be executed quickly and efficiently. It can be sent to the right tables as long as you know the numbers and the person that it's going to. It really is important to have a system in place. Overall, the bar is a major improvement from stress test. Everyone loves the drinks, the food, the atmosphere, the bar decoration. In the end, John shows Chris and Jazz their bar, how everything is going better than it was before, lets them know that his work is done. He leaves the bar and rides off into the sunset. 8 weeks after John left, their sales increased by 40%. They have their systems and organizations remaining in place. Jesse and the other bartenders become more comfortable with Chris and Jazz, and Chris and Jazz continue that trust with their employees. They even did a bar rescue viewing party twice in the same day. But then you ask, what happened after the episode ended? So in 2017, they were featured in a Back to the Bar episode, and Back to the Bar and Bar Rescue is pretty much self-explanatory, where they go over how the past rescues are doing, whether they're still successful, whether they closed down, or whether it remains to be seen. Chris and Jazz explained that there was a 6-day rain that came from Decatur and flooded the interior of the bar to the point where they had to use 18 buckets. It was horrible, so they had to pretty much move their interior 80 feet across the parking lot next door and remodeled everything and made everything look exactly the same as they did before. And then they had renegotiating problems with their landlord. They wanted to renew their lease, but they were unable to do it. So unfortunately, in 2016, they had to close their bar down. Fortunately, with all that craziness that they were going through, Chris and Jazz were still able to pay off their entire debt, $175,000 worth of doubloons. So after paying off their debt and their whole bar closing, Chris and Jazz wanted to go to Scottsdale, Arizona and open up a new location there. They went through 2 bars, checking the square footage, the pros and cons of each bar, where they want to build a new bar, and they want to keep it the same theme as well. They had a lot of thinking to go over, so nothing was definite at the moment. So during that time, overall, the bar had a rating of 3.6 stars on Yelp. As of 2025, the space is now being occupied by a barbecue restaurant, and I am a big fan of Japanese barbecue, so I'll definitely check it out. Now, I believe that Chris and Jazz have taken a break from hospitality at the moment, but right now they are focused on their music careers. You can check them out on their Instagram page, I'll link it down below. There isn't a public update on what happened to Jesse, but I really hope that he is doing okay and that he's happy with his life right now. Alright, ladies and germs, what did we learn today? First off, don't be a disrespectful douchebag. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect, so talk to people the way you would like to be talked to. Giving away drinks for free just to get a bigger tip is unethical and does not guarantee you it makes more money. In a business, there needs to be a level of trust between an owner and their employees, because without trust, it discourages the employees and demotivates them to work harder. That without trust and without systems and operations in place, the whole thing will fall apart. And if you want the best of something, don't make it cheap and tacky like a discounted broken condom. If you want the best of something, make a better effort into it. Thank you guys again for watching. If you enjoyed this, you don't have to like and subscribe, but I do appreciate it. If you just turned 21 today, happy birthday to you. Cheers and bottoms up. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. Boo! I just hit you with the Marvel movie post-credit scene. I just couldn't resist going through the entire video without doing this. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!